So, welcome back. I'm KT, and that's KaydashcapitalT, and I'm an artist, and I'm here to discuss the very important implications of this new movement that is art pop. Art pop could mean anything. I'm here to explain it. I feel like it helps to discuss these things linearly for those of you who can't really function mentally in anachronism, or the outer manifestation of the internal self, only to be sensed by those sensible enough to sense it, such as myself, being that society is unable to understand how Lady Gaga's aura is manifested within physical representation of herself. So when she appears for art pop, back into the world again to greet the world, she is representing herself in the way that the public believes the mainstream authenticity, when in fact to her it is inauthentic. This song is rhetoric, this song is aggressive, this song is a foreshadowing. So Venus. She personifies art pop here as Aphrodite. This has many implications within art pop, but she's transcending this earthly world's ideals and ideas of being love necessarily, but she's also using the dichotomy of a really archaic form to represent the bringing of new. She is building upon the ambiguity of how her presentation of this love may actually represent this love that is not the love that we think that we know and love. GUI. Many believe that this is just about sex, which is just much more complex than that, actually. There are many layers of sex happening here, actually. But beyond that, there are even more layers. She's confronting two arenas, and they are both opposing and cooperative, but she also needs both. She wants both. She demands both. She dismantles that binary. She creates turmoil, and it's all melding together like by force, like in this way that we've never seen before. Sex streams. On the surface, it would look like her struggle with the line between temptation and like carnal sin. A lot of listeners would stop there conceptually. She's transcending that experience of the individual. She is having an affair, but it's not the same experience that we would experience. There is a greater power here to which she is really referring to, besides that of just sex, jewels and drugs. This track is a scalding critique of how the music industry is lacking completely of artistic expression and artistic input and like an active artistic voice. This track is obviously meant to be ironic. It makes sense mostly within the context of the rest of her work. I'm sure this concept is straightforward enough that I don't need to explain it really any further. So, manicure. Many listeners mistake this wordplay for being cured of man. It's truly about more the cure that humanity is looking for in a deep spiritual, philosophical, psychological level. Lady Gaga encourages us to treat every detail of ourselves with equal importance. Nails are the most neglected part of ourselves. We all feel like nails sometimes. We all want to be cured. Do what you want. This is the foil with the aura chapter. She confronts society about her being inauthentic to her aura. She then asserts that nothing about her aura was harmed during the process. She never actually has to change in order to pander to society as they had believed. Like, she can stay true to herself. Toying with us, like, throughout this album of like, I'll give you what you want, but it's not what you want. You realize that it's not what you want, it actually is what you want. Art pop. Art pop is the eye of the storm. All that she has introduced so far has heretofore been separate motifs, but are now holons of one singular concept that is art pop itself. She invites every listener to be drawn in by the encompassing art, to gaze into the art. because although it means all of these complex unifications are being personal and transcendental all at once, it also means something personal to each individual listener. It is dangerous to be entrapped by that surface metaphor rather than delving even deeper into the message of art, but it does have that relative quality to which that is accessible to the public. So that's how she's bringing in the entirety of society into the new movement of art pop. So she's using pop culture to address the problems of pop culture. So there's that tension created there. Swine. Swine is the parallel of sex dreams. It's a symbol of all the 7 deadly sins, which is certainly the color of her surface themes of many of her previous work. We infer an indulgence in an unhealthy relationship here. She's spelling out all of these metaphors, but she's holding back the revelation of them. Very narrative. And at this point I did figure out like what was happening, but I'm going to save that reveal for you in the order of its intent within the album itself. So Donatella. Actually a very strategic career move in terms of marketing here, but it's also identifying Lady Gaga's return to her physical manifestations of aura. We can see the confidence that is re-emerging here after the intense journey we've all been through with her. She's also playing a bit at the surface motifs, her proverbial manicure, and she's gone through retail therapy, which I assume is prescribed properly by her doctor. It's not a medical method recommended for everyone. So, fashion. She pauses here to revel in self-love and success that is such an important mentality for creating art. She invites her listeners to join her in the revelation, and as always she speaks in parable, and it's never literal diamonds or pearls that are important. They are metaphors for authenticity, and in authenticity is value. When you look good, you feel good, but when you are authentic, you feel fulfilled. So, Mary Jane Holland. The implication of marijuana was a very basic interpretation that I won't claim is untrue, because this is an important reference point to discover the real reading of the work. But as she personifies marijuana here, which is a drug, she is also personifying love through Aphrodite and Venus. This is the expository moment that we were looking for in Jewels and Drugs. Love is a drug, and she loves fame, and fame comes through pop, which is the foil of art. So the motifs have finally come together, and it's that moment of epiphany that I really had to reflect in upon myself, an epiphany about it. Dope. We glimpse the very personal moment when she realizes that her love affair with pop has really hindered her true purpose, which is art. Art has been neglected, and she is repenting here. I, Lady Gaga, need you, art, more than dope. Pop. I'm spelling it out very obviously here. Gypsy. She makes the decision then actively to return to her true calling, which is art, her true love. But she does acknowledge that pop has an integral part to play within this new movement that she wants to create. She doesn't want to choose, so she integrates. She exposes that binary tension, but she embraces it. But we know from the anachronistic nature of the album that Artpop's very existence means that she no longer has to choose between the two. They are sisters. They are parents. They are lovers. They are the same. And here begins the beginning of change, of the status quo, of art becoming pop culture, of pop culture becoming art. Applause. It's the first song on the album to be released into the world, and the last to appear on the album itself. This is where she had begun her journey, her affair with pop. And its conception only begins with her complete immersion within pop culture. And it is only when that time of need that she realizes that she is yearning for art. Thus begins and ends the journey of the Artpop album with an applause. So she is caged like a bird within pop culture. She is also beginning to reach for art to grab onto that foundation and begin working towards art pop. Now we reached full circle. It doesn't get more art than that. So I speak more about my experience of applause singularly in a different video, so if you want more, please click here. But for now, I've given my brief synopsis of the implications within art pop, the album and the movement, and what Lady Gaga explained about it. So tune in next time and find out what I've been deciphering about the meanings of the universe. So radical.